Slow sales are just a part of reselling, so let's talk about how to think around it. Hi everybody, my name is Margaret and welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. I am a homeschooling mom that resells on eBay and Etsy to help support my family. And one of the ways I like to make money is flipping things on eBay. Now, this week is a little bit slow. My goal with my eBay and Etsy sales, because it's part of my income, is to bring in about $200 a week. And I didn't make my goal this week. And that really stinks. But while I like to break down my sales to give myself smaller goals, so I do try to give myself weekly goals. I think I'd lose my mind if I tried to do daily goals. But while I do try to break down weekly goals, I still have to take that step back and look at the bigger picture. Last week I did make well over my 200, so it all works out at the end of the month where it'll end up probably still making that $800. That's my base goal for the whole month for eBay and Etsy. So it's good to have smaller goals, but it's also good to take a step back and look at the big picture. Those smaller goals are just for me to check in and see how I'm doing. Am I on track? But that bigger picture is really what's going to matter at the end of the month. If it ends up going over it, beautiful. But if not, I have to figure out ways to try to get my sales to pick up over the next week. So we'll talk about what has sold, and then at the end I'll talk a little bit about, well, what am I going to do to try to get my sales to pick up a little bit? What are some strategies that I've got? Because ultimately that's going to be what is going to help you guys improve your sales is, well, what do you do if sales are slow? Because it happens. It's that time of year. It always seems like there's some excuse for it being that time of year, but it really is that time of year. And I want you to go down and leave a comment for what you do when sales are slow. I'm going to be sharing at the end the things that I do when my sales are slow. So let's all chip in ideas and we'll all get our sales rolling again. So while my sales didn't meet my goal this week, I am definitely grateful for all the sales that I get. I spent about $4.50 for all the items that sold this week and made $171. So let's take a look. So first we'll look at my Etsy sales, then we'll look at the eBay sales. This is a little penguin sort of ice cream style bowl. It's a Hallmark item and I paid $1 for this bowl and it sold for $15, $14.99. I think it was actually 99 cents that I got this for, but it was cute. I thought, I think I can flip this. People really like penguins, and so I did. Next up, I got this really cute rabbit. It wasn't that long ago. I spent about $3 on it, and it sold for about $40, $39.99 on my Etsy shop. So I was pretty happy with that return on investment. $40 brought me a long way to my $200 goal. So this is Totoro. If you guys don't know, this is from Studio Ghibli, my neighbor Totoro. And this Totoro mug I got in the bins, so I paid about 10 cents for it because in the bins, glassware, anything breakable is 20 items for $1.99. And Totoro, I'm looking down at my notes, Totoro sold for $18. This porcelain egg, is another item that I got in the bins, so it cost about 10 cents to get it. It actually sold a lot faster than I expected. I really thought that this item was going to be something that sat in my shop for a little bit longer than it actually did, and it sold for $28 on Etsy, so I was pretty happy with that. Well, I thought, well, maybe it'll sell closer towards Easter, but it sold already, so that's great. So next up, this fox mug sold. It says, "For Fox's sake." I got it in the bins for 10 cents, and it sold for $11. The next couple items were in my $2 for 20 items that I was going to be able to make $400 on when they all sold. And so almost immediately when I listed 2 of the mugs from that haul, they sold probably within half an hour, and this is one of them. I honestly thought this was going to sit for a lot longer. This is one, so I paid 10 cents for it, and I sold it for $17. This mug, I think somebody must have been on the lookout for it, because in eBay you can put notifications in. So if someone lists something with certain keywords, you get notified. Because I got an offer on this mug probably 15-20 minutes after I listed it. So I paid about 10 cents for it. So I took an offer of $17 on this mug. Now, when the offer came in so fast, it made me feel like maybe I should stand my ground and wait for a better buyer, or maybe I didn't list it high enough. But I decided, you know what, I'm not in that game right now. I really need to make those sales, because as I said, my $200 goal was getting kind of dicey. I wasn't sure I was going to make it. And I knew I only had 10 cents in this mug at the moment. So I thought, you know what? I don't need to wait for anything bigger. 17 bucks works for me. So 17 bucks it was. This little terracotta angel ornament sold as well this week, and I got this at the bins as well. So it was 10 cents, and I took an offer of $11 on it. Isn't it sweet? And finally, this is another one that I thought was gonna sit for a lot longer than it did. So this is Anger from In-N-Out, the cartoon. I got this ornament in the bins as well. I picked it up for 10 cents and it sold for $15. So my strategies for when things are slow, like this week. One, on my eBay, I go through and I make sure that I'm sending offers to eligible items, and you can go through, and when you look at your things that you have for sale, there's little tabs at the top and it'll say send eligible offers. It'll list those right out for you. You can do it on your phone as well, and then you just send those offers out. Another thing is to go through and see the items that have a lot of watchers and just wiggle the price a little bit. And what I mean by wiggle the price a little bit, raise the price a couple bucks or lower the price a couple bucks, because then that person or those people will be notified, like, oh, there have been some changes on an item that you were watching. So that's another strategy. And then if you're not running a sale in your eBay shop, which I'm not at the moment, I usually try to have one going, but I don't have one going at the moment. So go in and get a sale running. Also, another thing is to list consistently. And I'm usually pretty consistent lately about listing. I've been actually listing a little more than between 5 and 10 items. One day I got up to almost 20 items over the break, and that was really good. But that consistency is going to really help with the algorithm on eBay to get your items found and seen and things like that. The last few days it's been tough. I mean, as you can see, I'm not making my video in my normal way, in my normal place, it's been a crazy day for us. So I just had to kind of squeeze it in and figure it out when I could. So I might have to stay up late tonight to do some listing. But that's just the name of the game if you're trying to make this part of your business. If you sit back on your laurels and you're thinking, oh, I listed a million things and I'm doing great, those sales are going to start tapering off. So I was telling a friend of mine that this is the kind of business where there's no end point. The project is done. There's always pictures to take, listings to do, things to ship out. So it's a constant, it's a constant thing. And it's nice when you can take a break and stop, but then, a lot of times your sales can be affected by that. So it's good. I mean, it would be good if you have multiple things coming in. Luckily, I have got multiple things with like the print on demand and a few other things that I have going on. So I feel like I'm just blabbering now, and I don't want to do that. So leave a comment if you've got another tip when sales are slow, because that's going to be really helpful for everybody who's coming here to learn. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for coming in.